You are surrounded by rivals who smile at you while sharpening their daggers. In business, in politics, in life, someone hungers for your downfall. The problem is not whether enemies exist. The problem is whether you are prepared. What if you possessed 18 unbreakable laws that gave you unfair advantage over every foe? Principles so sharp that once understood, you will never look at power the same way again. This is not about fairness. This is about survival, and survival belongs to those who are ruthless. Dark chamber. A single candle flickers. Machiavelli's shadow stretches across the walls, as if whispering secrets from centuries past. The world does not reward kindness. It rewards cunning. Empires are not built on morality, but on power. You may believe goodness alone brings success, but history laughs at such illusions. Men who ruled the world did not win by chance, but by rule, ruthless rule. And tonight, I shall reveal them. The first rule of power is simple. Never trust goodwill. Goodwill is a mirage built by those who want you to lower your guard. It is the illusion that others care for your interests as much as you do. They do not. Every man acts out of his own necessity, his own hunger, his own survival. When his benefit aligns with yours, he smiles. When it no longer does, he turns. You must understand this nature of men, not hate it, not condemn it, but master it. To rely on goodwill is to hand your fate to the wind. And those who trust the wind disappear with it. The world is not ruled by friendship or kindness. It is ruled by advantage. You may think loyalty is a bond of emotion, but in truth, it is a contract of power. A man remains loyal as long as loyalty profits him. Once it doesn't, he shifts his allegiance to whoever offers more security, wealth, or favor. You cannot blame him for this. It is human nature. The wise man does not curse the storm. He builds a ship to sail through it. So too must you build power not upon promises, but upon structure, upon necessity, upon fear, upon the understanding that goodwill fades, but self-interest endures. Imagine a ruler who rises through charm and generosity. His court adores him, his soldiers praise him, and his allies swear eternal loyalty. But when war comes, and the treasury empties, those same smiling faces vanish, the soldiers desert, the allies change sides. The people curse the very man they once cheered. Why? Because their loyalty was never to him. It was to the benefits they gained through him. Once the flow stopped, their devotion died. Such rulers are destroyed not by enemies, but by misplaced trust. You must never build your strategy upon the fragile foundation of affection. Build upon fear, respect, and dependency. Make others need you more than they love you. Need binds deeper than emotion. A man may betray a friend he loves if it saves his fortune or his skin, but he will never betray one whom he cannot survive without. This is why true power lies not in being liked, but in being needed. Do not mistake this rule for cruelty. It is clarity. When you depend on goodwill, you give others control over your fate. When you understand men's motives, you regain control. The one who sees clearly sees far, and clarity is a weapon sharper than any sword. Learn to read men not by their words, but by their incentives. Ask not, do they like me? But, what do they gain from me? When their gain ends, your alliance ends. Thus, make sure it never ends. Keep your power essential. Let your allies believe that without you, their plans falter, their influence weakens, their prosperity declines. When a man's well-being depends on your favor, his loyalty becomes insurance, not sentiment. This is how kings secure crowns, and how leaders ensure obedience. Those who rely on affection lose both love and power. Those who rely on necessity keep both. Even in friendship, goodwill is fragile. People support you when it costs them nothing. They abandon you when it costs them something. That is the silent law of human behavior. Do not weep at this truth, use it. Design your alliances with the knowledge that loyalty is a transaction. Reinforce it with reward, enforce it with fear, and anchor it in dependency. Give too much freely, and you teach others that your help is endless. Give strategically, and you teach them that your favor must be earned, not expected. You must learn to wear generosity like armor, not like skin. Be generous only when it strengthens your hold, and withhold when it weakens it. When you give, let it appear selfless, but let it always serve a purpose. The prince who gives too freely loses respect. The one who gives wisely earns control. Power requires balance. Enough kindness to disguise calculation. Enough calculation to prevent ruin. Consider this truth. Those who rely on the affection of others become slaves to it. They act not out of will but out of fear. Fear of losing love. Fear of losing approval. And in their fear, they compromise strength. A ruler who seeks to please everyone pleases no one. And soon, he is ruled by those he tried to satisfy. The one who understands that goodwill is fleeting commands himself first, and then commands others. If you ever find yourself trusting promises, remind yourself men promise loyalty when they are weak and break it when they are strong. The wise do not take promises. They create conditions that make betrayal impossible. Fear achieves what words cannot. Dependency achieves what affection will not. And understanding achieves what faith alone never will. Remember, the illusion of goodwill has destroyed empires, toppled leaders, and ruined men who believed they were loved more than they were needed. Those who thrive in this world are those who see through the illusion early, who understand that morality is a luxury for the secure and a weapon for the cunning. You must see the nature of the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Only then can you shape it to your will. So never rely on goodwill. Never build your fate on the shifting sands of affection. Build it upon the rock of necessity, the structure of fear, and the calculation of advantage. When you do, you will not beg for loyalty. You will command it. You will not hope for support. You will control it. And in a world where every man seeks his own interest, you will become the one man they cannot afford to lose. In the theater of power, appearance is everything. Men judge not by truth, but by what they can see, and because most see only what glitters on the surface, you must learn to shine, even if the light is an illusion. Appear kind, noble, honest, and just, but beneath that appearance, calculate every move as though your survival depends on it, because it does. The greatest masters of power have always understood this paradox. Morality is a tool, not a chain. The weak worship virtue as absolute, the wise use it as disguise. If you wish to rise in a world that adores appearances, you must become both actor and architect. Actor, to play the role men expect; architect, to design the truth beneath the mask. Men love the illusion of goodness. They trust it blindly, they follow it willingly, and they rarely question it until it is too late. This is why the virtuous mask is your most valuable weapon. It invites trust, it disarms suspicion, it gives you time to maneuver while others lower their guard. The art is not in deception itself. It is in balance, the balance between what you seem and what you are. History has no shortage of men who conquered by virtue and ruled by calculation. The prince who seems merciful but knows when to be ruthless survives longer than the one who tries to be merciful at all times. For virtue without strength is fragility, and fragility invites ruin. Appear kind, but let your kindness serve purpose. Appear honest, but let your honesty be timed for advantage. Appear humble, but let humility become your cover. In the world of politics, business, and human nature, reputation is armor, and perception is currency. If you control how others see you, you control how they treat you. When people believe you are righteous, they will forgive your transgressions. When they believe you are fair, they will excuse your cruelty. When they believe you are wise, they will follow even your errors. The appearance of virtue buys freedom, the freedom to act as necessity demands. That is why the wise never waste time trying to be good in the eyes of all. They only ensure they are perceived as such. The masses are too busy admiring the surface to ever question what lies beneath. This blindness is your advantage. You must learn the delicate art of contrast. Softness on the outside, steel within. Speak in tones of compassion, yet think in terms of control. Smile as you strategize. Offer comfort while calculating gain. The world does not understand duality, it prefers simplicity. Heroes and villains, saints and sinners. Let them place you among the saints while you play the game of sinners. Power demands this duplicity, not out of malice, but out of necessity. Because if you act only with open intention, You expose yourself to those who act in secret, and those who act in secret rule. In every room, there are two games being played: the visible and the invisible. The visible game is words, promises, gestures, and alliances. The invisible one is motive, manipulation, leverage, and timing. Appear virtuous in the visible, dominate in the invisible. While others seek to prove their honesty, you must use it as a veil. When others expose their hearts, conceal yours. Let them believe in your purity. It will make your precision invisible. The one who underestimates you is the easiest to destroy, even when you must act harshly. Wrap your actions in the language of virtue. When you remove a rival, claim you do it for the good of the people. When you silence a critic, say you protect unity. When you seize power, tell them you preserve order. Men will accept cruelty if it comes dressed as righteousness. They will follow tyranny if it wears the robes of justice. They will love the hand that chains them if it claims to protect them. This is the oldest secret of power, the ability to turn necessity into morality and ambition into duty. Your words must be silk, but your thoughts must be iron. Speak of peace, but prepare for war. Preach loyalty, but expect betrayal. Express humility, but never forget your worth. In this balance between virtue and calculation lies the mastery of survival. Those who reveal too much of their will are predictable, and the predictable are easily conquered. But those who seem harmless, while plotting with precision, are invincible. Understand this: reputation builds faster than truth, and it lasts longer. Once you have cultivated the image of integrity, even your deceptions will be excused as accidents. Men defend what they believe about you more fiercely than what they know. Therefore, let them believe what serves you best. A single act of visible kindness can erase 10 hidden acts of ruthlessness. The world remembers gestures, not intentions. Give them what they can see, and they will never look for what they cannot. Do not confuse this with hypocrisy. It is strategy. To play the game of power is to understand the limits of honesty. Pure honesty is noble in theory but fatal in practice. If you speak all your truths, you arm your enemies. If you expose your motives, you make yourself predictable. The wise man guards his truth like treasure and reveals only what earns him advantage. This is not deceit. It is survival in a world ruled by perception. Those who fail to master this rule live as prey to those who do. The knave show their hearts and are devoured. The cunning show their masks and devour others. The world does not care about sincerity. It rewards effectiveness. And those who appear virtuous while acting with cold precision command both love and fear. Love blinds followers to your ambition. Fear prevents them from crossing it. Between these two forces you find control. So learn to wear the mask well. Practice your smile, polish your tone, and speak like a saint while you think like a strategist. Because in a world that judges by appearance, it is not the most moral who rise. It is the most convincing. Those who appear virtuous but act calculated become untouchable, for they have mastered both the heart and the mind of man. Power begins not with strength, but with knowledge. Information is the invisible weapon that determines who leads and who follows, who conquers and who falls. The man who controls information controls perception, and perception controls reality. To understand this rule is to hold the strings that move entire nations, institutions, and minds. The greatest mistake you can make in the pursuit of power is to assume that truth alone rules the world. It does not. Information, not truth, shapes decisions, forms beliefs, and builds reputations. Whoever controls what is known controls what is believed. Knowledge has always been the currency of kings. Armies win wars, but intelligence decides where the first sword is swung. Every ruler, every general, every strategist who survived the shifting sands of power understood that what is seen and what is hidden must be carefully managed. Too much revealed, and your enemies see your weakness. Too little revealed, and your allies lose faith. The art lies in balance. Reveal enough to appear transparent, conceal enough to remain untouchable. Men must believe they know you, even as they remain blind to your true designs. In every struggle, whether political, social, or personal, the one who controls the flow of information holds the throne, even if they never wear a crown. Imagine two men competing for influence. One speaks freely, revealing his thoughts, plans, and doubts, believing honesty earns trust. The other listens more than he speaks, revealing only what strengthens his position, while gathering the weaknesses of others. The first man becomes predictable, easy to outmaneuver. The second man becomes dangerous. He moves unseen, strikes unexpectedly, and wins without warning. The silence of the wise is deadlier than the noise of the fool. You must learn to treat words as weapons, not confessions. Speak only to achieve a result, never to fill silence. Every sentence should have purpose. Every pause should conceal meaning. Let others rush to share, to impress, to appear important. Their vanity will reveal more than they realize. The powerful know that the one who listens controls the conversation. The one who speaks uncontrollably exposes his soul. Control information by mastering silence, for silence creates mystery, and mystery creates fear. People fear what they cannot read. They respect what they cannot predict. To control information is not merely to hide facts. It is to shape them. You must learn to create narratives, to craft perception so that what others believe serves your ends. Facts are only half of reality. Interpretation is the other half. If men believe your actions are noble, even your ambition appears selfless. If they believe your motives are pure, even your manipulations appear righteous. Control the story, and you control judgment. The masses follow not truth, but the one who speaks with confidence, clarity, and conviction. Control the message, and you command their loyalty. The art of information is the art of invisibility. Never reveal your full hand. When you share, share selectively. Give others fragments of the truth, so they believe they understand the whole. Let them see what you want them to see. Your power, your confidence, your supposed vulnerability, while concealing your true intention. It is not deception for cruelty's sake. It is the discipline of survival. Those who expose everything become targets. Those who reveal nothing become ghosts. And ghosts are untouchable. Observe those around you carefully. Every man leaks information through his words, his reactions, his silence, even his laughter. Train your eye to read what others miss. Learn to listen beneath the surface. What do they not say? What do they avoid? What do they fear to mention? In those spaces lie the truths that others try to bury. When you know what others hide, you hold power over them. Information is leverage. It can destroy, elevate, or control, depending on how it is used. A wise ruler does not shout commands. He whispers truths into the right ears. He lets his enemies reveal themselves by speaking too freely. He lets his allies depend on his knowledge, ensuring they cannot move without his approval. He does not need to dominate through force, because he dominates through information. Knowledge becomes the invisible chain that binds others to his will. When you possess knowledge others need, they serve you willingly, fearing what you know and desiring what you can reveal. Do not underestimate the power of rumor. A single whisper can ruin a reputation more effectively than 1,000 accusations. The cunning use rumor as weapon and shield. If your rival's influence grows, plant doubt, not evidence. Let uncertainty corrode his image while you remain untarnished. The masses crave stories, not facts. Give them a story that serves your advantage. Appear shocked by the chaos you quietly orchestrate. Pretend innocence as your enemy collapses under the weight of speculation. In the battlefield of power, reputation is reality, and reality is always shaped by narrative. When others attempt to learn your secrets, feed them illusions. Give them information that misleads, distracts, or comforts them into complacency. Let them believe they have outsmarted you, that they understand your motives. The most dangerous lie is the one that seems harmless. When they act on false information, their failure becomes your advantage. To control information is not only to protect truth, but to weaponize ignorance. Guard your secrets as if they are your kingdom. Once exposed, you cannot reclaim them. Every revelation weakens your fortress. Share only what strengthens your position and conceals your plan. Even your closest allies should know only what is necessary. Today's ally can become tomorrow's rival. Those who know everything about you can one day use it against you. Keep compartments in your life, layers within layers, so that even betrayal cannot fully wound you. Information is the foundation upon which power rests. Men fear the unknown, so control what they know. Men follow those who seem certain, so control what they believe. The one who speaks less learns more, the one who listens most controls all. When you understand that truth is not a weapon, but a resource, you no longer play the game of power. You define it. In the arena of power, waiting is the most dangerous act. Hesitation is not caution. It is surrender disguised as patience. The moment you allow your enemies to move first, you have already given them the advantage. Every rival plots, every ally watches, and every observer judges. The wise do not wait for threats to become actions. They recognize danger in its earliest whisper and silence it before it breathes. To strike before being struck is not cruelty. It is preservation. History is written by those who acted when others were still thinking. You must learn to sense betrayal long before it arrives. Men seldom declare their intentions openly. They reveal them in glances, in shifts of tone, in sudden silence where once there was laughter. The fool dismisses these signs as paranoia. The wise studies them as warnings. When you feel unease, when your instincts whisper of deception, listen. Human nature is consistent. Greed, envy, and ambition are the same today as they were in the days of emperors. A man who flatters too much hides resentment. An ally who hesitates hides betrayal. The world gives signs to those who dare to see. Machiavelli once wrote that injuries must be inflicted all at once, so they cannot be avenged. The same rule applies to preemptive action. When you must strike, strike decisively. A half measure breeds revenge. A complete act ensures silence. When you sense opposition forming, destroy it before it unites. When you notice a rival gathering influence, undermine him before his foundation hardens. When an enemy speaks kindly, remember that poison is often served in golden cups. Do not wait for certainty. Certainty is a luxury for those who do not plan to win. Consider the fate of those who waited. Kings who hesitated lost their crowns. Generals who delayed lost their armies. Businessmen who feared confrontation lost their empires to bolder men. The world does not reward caution. It rewards control. To control the future, you must act in the present. And to act in the present, you must see beyond the moment. Anticipation is the highest form of intelligence. The best rulers are not those who react to threats, but those who eliminate them before they are born. This principle is not limited to enemies. Even within alliances, you must strike first in influence. If you do not assert dominance, others will fill the vacuum. If you do not claim authority, others will claim it for you. Power hates emptiness. It always flows to the bold. When opportunity appears, it rarely knocks twice. To hesitate is to give permission for someone else to take what you desired. The man who waits for the perfect moment dies waiting. The man who acts creates the moment. To strike first does not mean to act blindly. It means to act strategically, guided by foresight rather than fear. Before you move, observe. Study your opponent's rhythm. Watch how he speaks, where he gains confidence, where he reveals weakness. Then, when you act, strike with precision. Make it so swift, so unexpected, that by the time your enemy understands, it is already too late. This is not aggression, it is control. The most dangerous man is the one who smiles while preparing his move, who plans calmly while others panic. Even in diplomacy, this rule reigns supreme. When rivals seek to corner you with alliances or pressure, make the first shift. Redefine the terms, change the terrain, force them to respond to your move. The one who acts first controls the narrative. The one who reacts is already defending. Every war, every negotiation, every rise to power begins with this balance. Either you dictate events, or events dictate you. Power belongs to those who refuse to wait for permission to act. But the art lies in subtlety. The wise strike before being struck, not always with swords, but with strategy. You can strike with words that turn allies against your rival. You can strike with silence that leaves him isolated. You can strike with timing, taking what he desires the moment before he reaches it. A strike does not always draw blood. Sometimes it simply removes options. By the time your opponent realizes what has happened, the board has already changed, and you are the only player left standing. Understand that mercy, when misplaced, is self-destruction. Those who intend to harm you will interpret kindness as weakness. If you must act against an enemy, do it cleanly and completely. Do not allow him the dignity of recovery. A wounded rival becomes a desperate one, and desperation breeds chaos. Remove the threat entirely, not out of malice, but out of necessity. The world does not mourn those who fall. It forgets them, but it never forgets those who strike with purpose. In the pursuit of power, the first blow is rarely the loudest. It is the smartest. You must condition your mind to see opportunities for preemption everywhere. If a competitor begins to rise, weaken his alliances before he strengthens them. If a subordinate grows too ambitious, promote him into irrelevance or surround him with loyal rivals. If you sense unrest in your ranks, identify the source and cut it out before it spreads. These acts may appear ruthless to the untrained eye, but to the strategist, they are the mechanics of survival. There is a rhythm to human conflict, a build-up, a hesitation, a release. Those who wait for the release are always too late. You must strike in the build-up, before the world expects it. Surprise multiplies power. Fear follows surprise. Respect follows fear, and control follows respect. This is the sequence through which power is secured and preserved. Remember, no empire has ever fallen in a single moment. It falls in fragments, small acts of hesitation, tiny failures of will, moments when leaders chose to wait instead of act. The cracks widen until collapse becomes inevitable. The wise prevent the first crack. They strike not out of anger, but out of foresight. The strike is not an act of violence. It is an act of design, the preservation of authority before it is challenged. Those who live by this principle never react to the world. They shape it. Those who hesitate become its casualties. Power has never belonged to the moral. It has always belonged to the strategic. The world does not care who deserves to win. It only remembers who does. Machiavelli understood that fairness is a story for the weak, and advantage is the language of the strong. To dominate the game, you must see beyond illusion, beyond emotion, beyond the comfort of good intentions. You must act with calculation, conceal your designs behind virtue, control what others see and know, and strike before danger strikes you. These are not just rules. They are laws of survival written in the blood of history. The weak pray for justice, the strong create it, and those who master these ruthless principles do not follow the world's order. They define it.